And welcome to What Happened This Week? This week, going to talk about some NFL draft predictions as the draft is tomorrow. I've got a couple of NBA awards predictions and going to be talking about the collapse. Well, not quite the collapse, but the sort of disappointment that is the Chicago Cubs at this point, because they were supposed to be a dynasty and didn't really win anything else besides in 2016. So yeah, that is our topics. Hope you're having a great day whenever you're listening. Evening, day, night, morning, dusk, dawn, whenever the fuck it is. I appreciate you. Make sure you check out previous podcasts. Make sure you're following, subscribed, all of those good things. Almost had a little burp there, but I stifled it because I'm a professional. Make sure you check out our YouTube page. We stream at least once a week from everything from Smash to, Mario Kart potentially, to Among Us, to League of Legends. It's all there. Joined by my co-host, Cameron. That's for streams. Usually pretty fun. Make sure you stop by. And yeah, make sure you check out latanique.com. Got some great pieces up there. This podcast will also be posted there. If you're coming from Latanique, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for checking out the website. That's all I got. We're going to get into it. And let's go. And I'm back. So, first topic on today's slate of lovely topics. Going to make some NFL draft predictions. Because why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? So, starting early, I think it's sort of a foregone conclusion at this point that Trevor Lawrence is going to go on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Zach Wilson out of BYU is going to go number 2 to the New York Jets. Shout out New York, but not the Jets. Number 3, that's where things get more complicated because the 49ers have traded up. I predict that they're going to take Mac Jones because that's who their coach Kyle Shanahan likes the best, or so it seems. There's been a lot of just smokescreen here, there, wherever. And I actually, to tell you the truth, I really don't know who they would take, but it seems that Mac Jones is the number 1 option. Next prediction, I think that the Atlanta Falcons will not be able to trade out of number 4 and but will end up drafting Kyle Pitts out of Florida, the very talented tight end. He's very good. I don't think the Bengals will be taking a wide receiver. Not when Penei Sewell is on the board. Dude is a monster. Anyway, I do think the Patriots will trade up for a quarterback, though. Whether that's Trey Lance or Fields or whoever it is. I do think that they will be in the trade up market. I also think that the New Orleans Saints are... I hope this doesn't happen, but I just keep seeing rumblings on the timeline, and I think they will end up trading up for cornerback Caleb Farley out of, I think it's Virginia Tech. And, as a Saints fan, I'm like, okay, we don't have great history when it comes to trading up in the first round, but you know what? Let it ride. This front office has been pretty good with drafting, so hopefully they can be pretty good again with it. Anyway, more predictions. The Carolina Panthers will not take a quarterback, even though there's rumblings that they will. I don't believe they will. I think they're going to try maybe get a cornerback or a wide receiver, even though their wide receiver depth chart is insane. I also potentially think that if Atlanta somehow trades out of 4, that they'll be able to not pick Kyle Pitts. And if Kyle Pitts falls to Carolina, you got to take him. Gotta take him straight up. Any other predictions I have, because we're running up on 5 minutes? I think the Eagles will try and trade up for either a quarterback, and if they can't trade up, they're going to take a wide receiver, because there's 3 very, very, very talented wide receivers in this draft. I think the Denver Broncos will attempt to get a quarterback, even though there have been reports that they like the idea of trading out of the number 9 slot. Yes, they just traded for Teddy Bridgewater, but I don't think so. The Lions, I think they will try and get one of those wide receivers that I mentioned before. Apparently, they tried to trade up to the number 4 overall pick, but Atlanta didn't like the offer, which makes sense. And I do think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will end up with the running back. And those are my draft predictions for the draft on this Thursday. Oh, also, I think players won't want to hug Goodell even though he's vaccinated. I don't know. I just think that's a little tidbit I'm going to throw in there. All right. Next topic. Going to be talking about NBA awards. Because why not? I honestly was like, oh, I could talk about the Nets again, but I don't really want to. We're sort of in that in-between weird NBA space where we're about to hit the playoffs, but we're not quite there. So it's not that there's nothing to talk about. It's just that like the things that are to be talked about, I don't know. I don't really feel like talking about them. So I believe that for MVP, it will end up with Nikola Jokic, the fantastic big man from the Denver Nuggets. I think he will beat out LeBron James, Steph Curry, James Harden, and whoever else you have on that list. I just think that this year it's sort of a longevity award, and well, maybe not longevity, but a durability award. And Jokic throughout the season has been the healthiest. He's been putting up insane stats. And while I think Denver's record is going to fall a little bit just because of the injuries they have sustained to Torrey Craig and Jamal Murray, I still believe that Jokic's, yeah, that's right. Jokic's sort of body of work for this season is enough to get him that MVP just because of how truly, truly insane he has been playing. And, without him, they'd be fucked. They'd be absolutely fucked. So he's my pick for MVP. Defensive Player of the Year. I have two finalists. Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz, center, and Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers. And if you know me, you know that I sort of wrote not a hit piece, but I wasn't very nice to Ben Simmons in a recent piece I wrote for Latinique Media that's going to come out, I believe, Friday, which will be tomorrow or today whenever you listen. I also think that, well, I mean, Ben Simmons, he's special on the defensive side of the basketball. I think he has the ability to literally turn into a black hole and cover up whoever is your number one option and harass the shit out of them, really make them work. And in playoff series, it may not necessarily be about stopping people, but just getting people out of the rhythm. And I don't know if there's anyone better at that than Ben Simmons. The case for Rudy Gobert, I wouldn't say he's the best player on the Jazz, but he's certainly the best defensive player on the Jazz. He is the Stifle Tower, man. He's putting up insane defensive numbers, and when he's on the floor, at least on the defensive side of things, he's a beast. The defensive rating is through the roof for them. There are some little tarnishes there just because when he went up against some of the better players in the league, like Joel Embiid, He kind of got flamed. That's just the truth. And I think that's sort of there's this thing against Ben Simmons that I think will prevent him from winning the award, where people sort of hold him not developing his offensive game against him. And in fairness, I will be completely transparent. I am probably one of those people. So, while I think Simmons maybe deserves it more than Gobert, I think Gobert is going to win it because Gobert is, I don't want to say the easier choice, but for the NBA voters, it'll make most sense to them. All right. Next one, Rookie of the Year. This one was kind of tough because, besides Anthony Edwards, nobody's really, lasted that long this season. If you were to ask me 2 months ago who should win it, I'd immediately, LaMelo Ball. Yeah. All right. I don't remember exactly when he got injured, but that was easy for me. LaMelo Ball was easily the best rookie, and now people want to look at Anthony Edwards and look at his numbers and be like, oh, but look at his numbers. And then it's like, well, yeah. Have you looked at his usage rate? No shit. Somebody's going to be balling out when they're just feeding him the ball. So I do think Anthony Edwards will win the award just because, it's similar to the MVP thing where he's sort of been the healthiest and on the court the most. And again, I don't want to take anything away from Anthony Edwards. I just do believe that, LaMelo Ball is better. But because LaMelo Ball missed time, people will take that away from him. And I think that Anthony Edwards will win that award. I'm not super happy with that. And I don't know if it's just my opinion of the Minnesota Timberwolves, because I don't know why, but outside of Karl Anthony Towns it's not even the players. I just don't like the franchise. I feel like they just waste players, and if you're going to have a team that's dog shit and has all this talent, why the fuck is it in Minnesota? Put it in Seattle where people can actually appreciate it. And I'm sorry if you are from Minnesota and, you're a huge T-Wolves fan, but to me it's like, why does Seattle not have a team and Minnesota does? Where does that make sense? I mean, I know there's history, the Minneapolis Lakers, blah 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 blah. Okay, whatever. That's for a different podcast. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get to my next topic. Last topic of this podcast. In 2016, the Chicago Cubs won the World Series with a team that was young, had incredible chemistry. They had a pitching staff that seemingly could, last into the future. And fast forward to today, and the Cubs ain't doing too hot. And in the past years, they're kind of, it's not, I don't want to say they're trash, but they're very disappointing. Right now they're sitting with a record of 10-3, which, it's not, or 10-3, 10-13, excuse me. And that's not terrible, if you want to include COVID reasons and this, that, and the third. But back in 2016, this team was stacked. This team was stacked to hell. And, I understand that free agency is a thing and all that, this, that, and the third. But there is sort of an expectation of like, oh my God, this is a young team that can compete now and in the future. And they haven't really done that. They really haven't. They haven't made it to the ALCS again. They haven't, really shown that they're a contender. I know their standings were pretty good a couple years after they won, but they didn't have that, big energy. And I know it's so hard to repeat in this year's in, the modern MLB just because of how much turnover happens to your roster. But it's still incredible to me that you had an MVP in Chris Bryant, fantastic first baseman in Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez, who speaks for himself, Jason Hayward, who, yes, I understand his numbers aren't there, but he's a veteran leader. You would think he would get more out of this team. You had a good manager in Joe Maddon, who is now no longer with the team. And, there's just, it continues. It goes on. It goes on. And it's just, my dad's a big Cubs fan, and so by proxy, I am too. And it's just so disappointing to see this team that had so much talent. And I don't want to say they flopped because they won a World Series, but, I mean, they kind of did flop. And they haven't really done anything since then. And if from a year from now, you told me that, they broke down the team and traded talented players for prospects, I would tell you, man, I'm not really that surprised. All right, that has been this episode of What Happened This Week. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you are checking out other podcasts, checking out previous streams. We've got a couple Smash highlight clips floating around the YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out too. Again, thank you for checking out this episode. I hope you are following us on Instagram, following us on Twitter, following us on Spotify, subscribed, wherever else you can. And make sure you check out previous podcasts. We've got lots of great interviews. I know I already said it, but lots of great interviews, lots of nice philosophical conversations, lots of sports stuff. It's all there. We've got 2 seasons of just stuff. On Saturday, we'll have our 20th episode of season 2, so that feels pretty good. Our numbers are awesome, so thank you guys for checking it out. Make sure you check out La Tonique Media. I am doing 2 articles a week for them, and we've got a lot of great writers there, so make sure you check out their stuff. I do sports writing, but there's also culture and politics, so check it out. There's something for everyone. And you know what? Thanks for listening. Make sure you wear a mask. Make sure you're getting your vaccinations. Stay safe, everyone. We're almost through. We're almost there. We're almost done. Keep the fight going. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Enjoy your day, evening, night, morning, whenever. Peace.